Hey everyone, this is Buono, creator of the TrueFire Guitar Gym series. When I was putting those courses together, there was some workouts and even some skills that never made it to prime time. That's about to change because I'm dipping into the archives and we're starting with one today. It's from a skill I called stretching. This workout is going to start low on the neck and make its way diagonally and horizontally up the neck using wide intervals like 6s and 7s. The trick here is they're played on adjacent strings. Check this out. That's a super fun one to play, and I'm going to break it down for you. But before I do, just keep this in mind. These are big stretches. Be careful. If you feel anything weird, back off. It's not worth it. Don't injure yourself. But it is fun. So let's learn how to play it. I'm using these big intervals, these wide intervals on adjacent strings. I'm playing major 7, starting down here in, well, kind of the 3rd position, even though I'm stretching all the way up to the 9th fret. I'm using downstrokes and upstrokes. I call those outside pivots. I use that terminology throughout all my Guitar Gym courses, especially alternate picking, scales, and speed picking, stuff that involves playing picking things like this, or arpeggiation, that's another one. So I'm using downstrokes and upstrokes to play these notes on these adjacent strings to get these sounds. You might be wondering, well, why wouldn't you just play the interval this way? Well, first of all, I'm trying to do the stretches on purpose, to stretch my hand out and do something a little bit more challenging. But at the same time, I'm also providing myself a timbral or a tonal difference in ways that I can play things. And those things will come out in recording and even on gigs where I'm looking for one sound versus another. So you can hear if I play the interval like this, the higher note has this very cool bright attack, this brighter sound on the top. Whereas when I play the interval like this, the tone of the two notes better matches each other. So you can pick and choose. You have the option. I start off here in the 3rd position, sorta, and I'm doing the thing with the pivot. And as I'm playing that, I know that I'm going to go to here to play the next interval. When I do that, I'm taking a mental snapshot. I'm looking ahead, and I'm doing that throughout this whole thing. I'm diagonally moving up the neck with these big stretches. I can't just react to when I'm going to make the move when it happens. You're too late if you do that. So you have to constantly be looking ahead. I'm looking and envisioning that next interval, that next major 7 interval. Same thing's happening here. As a matter of fact, the stretch is about to go further. It's going to become a 7th fret stretch. And from there, not only am I increasing the stretch, I'm also going to play a little melodic movement on the top. I'm going to do this. I'm not only thinking about where I'm going, but what is about to happen. So the moral of the story here is you got to think ahead with what you're doing and what's going to happen and where you're going to do it. Now, when I get to here and play the octave and play that melody based off the A, I'm using my 4th finger to play the first 2 notes, and I'm dropping in my fret hand 3rd finger to play that other note. That's pretty much the only way it's going to go given the stretch. The point is I'm trying to get this to sound as legato as possible. Remember, legato means smooth playing. It doesn't necessarily have to be hammer-ons and pull-offs and slides. It just means that as the notes flow, they're to sound like that they are flowing into each other as opposed to sounding not legato. Which sounds cool too. Feel free to throw in any variation that you want. Let's take a quick break. Your fretting hand will probably thank you. Those stretches are pretty crazy. So set the guitar aside and use your other hand to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Also, down below in the comments, tell us what you think. Let us know what's going on with this lesson and also what you would like to see in future lessons. Hope you're digging this one. Let's get back to it. From that A octave with that melody, I'm going over to the next string set, 3-2 string set. And I'm going to play another melody. I'm going to do another melodic movement on the top, except this time I'm going to go up and then come down. So I'm just throwing in a small variation. Again, it's challenging me to think ahead, not only to go to a different location, but also to play a melodic movement that's simple, yet it's permutated, slightly changed. So these are all good things. These are all good skills to start building upon. And that was always the point of Guitar Gym, was to work on the stuff that was right on the top level, but also throw in things that are important that are going on underneath the hood. Now, to finish this off, for the first time, I'm not going to focus on an interval that's based on its root just yet. What I do is I come to here and I play this flat 7 interval, but my intention is to get to here. to get to the octave, just like I had down here on the 4 and 3 string set. So I get up here and play this melody. And for the first time, I'm going to include a third string in the mix here, a third adjacent string, and I'm just going to simply play an ascending arpeggiating sequence that does this. It's that beautiful minor second interval. So what I'm doing is an A octave and throwing in this G sharp down here with my second finger. And once again, none of this would be possible without a proper thumb approach, or nothing is proper here. I'm just putting my thumb in a place that I can actually play this. To get the most out of these workouts, it's a good idea to look ahead and think about how you can change them, how you can slightly permutate them, how you can morph them. So that's what I'm going to do for you here. I'm going to take the workout that we just checked out, we just learned how to play, and I'm going to change it, and then I'm going to show you how to do it. Check this out. In the second workout, as you can see, we're taking what happened in the first one and we're pushing it over by one string set. Now that poses a couple challenges, but starting it off, we have the same set of those first two major 7 intervals. I'm still using the outside pivots, I'm still using the stretching, I'm still paying attention to my thumb placement, everything is cool. What happens is things start to change once we get to the third interval. So on the third and second string, we see a bigger stretch like we did the first time, except it's even bigger. So at this point, we're going to have an 8 fret stretch, and it's going to be from here to here. So your thumb placement becomes even more important. Relaxing your hand is even more important. Keeping an eye on everything is just as important. Make sure you don't feel any weird tension. I play that big stretch like this, maintaining the fingerings that I established in the first workout, move to the higher string set, or the highest string set, complete that melody like this. But I ran out of strings. So in order to play the last idea, I'm going to have to stay on the highest string set. That's fine. I move it up to here. When I make that move, I'm going to have to use the 22nd fret high string, that high D, to get that interval, remember that flat 7 interval that turns into an octave? Then I'm going to drop down that lower note on the third string to play that arpeggiating pattern that includes that beautiful minor second interval to get that clustery sound, that major 70 sound, and I finish it off like that. If you've been checking out this guitar and wondering what it is, and you haven't looked at the truss rod cover, this is a 1980 Gibson L6S. These are super cool guitars, and this is not the only one that I've used in TrueFire land. If you've checked out 40-Day Rhythm Guitar SWAT Camp or 50 Funk Licks You Must Know, you've seen a 1973 L6 in a natural finish. They both feature maple bodies and maple necks. This one has a rosewood fingerboard, where the other one is all maple. But the most important thing here is these two Bill Lawrence design humbuckers controlled by the 6-way switch that gives me several options for in and out of phase, series, and parallel tones. That's where I'm coming up with all sorts of stuff that's heard throughout those courses and contributed to the tone that I played with today. The point here is, whatever you can do to keep yourself engaged and interested in what it is you're playing when you're doing workout type of stuff, do it. You want to dial in some reverb, a little bit of delay like I had on today, a little bit of tape delay with a little bit of modulation, don't hesitate from doing that. As long as you don't take away from the primary goal and take away from the timing aspect or whatever it is, dress that stuff up and work on your tone at the same time, because that stuff doesn't come natural, that takes work too. Have fun doing it and it'll always be a good time. Now let's get back to it. As with anything in my guitar gym world, I always stress working with some sort of timekeeper. It could be as simple as a metronome, hardware with the swing and pendulum thing, or a phone app, whatever the case may be. You can totally use drum tracks or anything else like that, as long as you are playing to some sort of consistent pulse, a beat. It is training you to play in time. You'll sound better on your own, and you will certainly be able to play with musicians in a much better and much more productive way. Everything benefits from you establishing time. With that said, these two workouts should be approached not so much thinking that you need to get them faster, but you're working with a metronome and working on that time and working on the stamina of being able to play something like that, maybe more than the 2 times that I played it here. At the same time, don't overdo it. Be careful, listen to your body, listen to your hands. When they're telling you to stop, do so, pick it up later, and you'll get the work done. Thanks for checking out this Guitar Gym stretching workout. There's going to be many more to come, but in the meantime, be sure to check out my entire course series of TrueFire along with all the other amazing TrueFire artists putting out great content. Hope to see you on the next one soon. This is Chris Buono. Thanks again.